All right, Ripple XRP holders, it is happening. There's a lot of big news taking place right now in the crypto space with the Bank of England and Coinbase doing the unthinkable. We're going to get into the XRP price chart today. We're also going to be talking about Ripple's plans to re-engage with the U.S. market, what Ripple's president, Monica Long, is saying, also their stablecoin test, and some big news about the Bank of England, a fintech accelerator proof of concept report that they released called Ripple, exploring the synchronized settlement of payments using the Interledger protocol. And I'm going to be breaking down exactly what that means, how that relates to the bank for international settlements, the entire partnerships for the CHAPS direct participants that are taking place on which banks are going to be integrating the cross-border real-time gross settlements between now and 2025 with the XRP ledger. And on top of that, some other massive news that you're not going to want to miss. So comment 777 if you're feeling blessed. Comment 777 if you're feeling bullish. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, you know what to do. Confirm it by tapping that subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, so XRP hasn't been doing too hot over the past 7 days. It's down 8%. And we expected something like this zone of demand right here as a support floor. Back where XRP struggled to break out from March of 2023, June of 2023, right around the lawsuit, we saw the breakout and almost test $1. Now XRP coming down in the hourly right here into this demand zone where the trend continues. If XRP can't break this downward trending resistance right here and have a reversal, this is most likely the next stop for XRP, down between 55 cents and 60 cents. Now again, don't buy XRP, don't sell XRP. If XRP dips down into this range right here over the next few months, I'm expecting this to take some time, and I'm going to explain why in this video for XRP to break out because of the lawsuit. XRP is not a security. However, there's one key critical detail that a lot of people are missing that I'm going to share with you in this video for why XRP hasn't gone to the moon yet and why this switch, metaphorically speaking, for all the banks hasn't been flipped yet. And we're going to be talking about that. So I'm going to come back to the chart. There's not too much to look at on the chart. XRP is currently in a downtrend since July 23rd. This will change. And when this will happen will be based on what I'm going to share with you in this video. So we need to take a macro market look because what happens in terms of partnerships from these big banks and what's happening with their plans to re-engage the crypto market in the United States could trigger some XRP price recovery. So Ripple's president sheds light on the firm's plans for the U.S. market. Monica Long, she did an interview with CNBC. Listen to this.
So it's been a couple of weeks now since the judge's ruling in our case, providing clarity that XRP is not a security, which we're very happy about. It gives us a lot of clarity in terms of how Ripple will operate its business going forward. And we are, re-engaging with a lot of the U.S. market. But really, a lot of our growth over the years has been outside of the U.S. I think that's reflective of where there is regulatory clarity. Places like the U.K., Europe, Singapore, Dubai, in the Middle East. These are jurisdictions that have provided clear frameworks and rules. So that's where we see a lot of growth for our business around payments. Our large hub offices, of course, we have a presence in the US, but our presence in London has grown significantly over the years. That office has more than doubled in size, and we have a pretty large footprint in terms of our customer base throughout Europe and the Middle East. Dubai is another key office for us, as well as Singapore. So we've seen a lot of growth through Europe, Middle East, Asia Pacific, and Latin America has been a region that has certainly been heating up for us. We have a key office there in Sao Paulo.
So banks are chomping at the bit to work with Ripple and leverage the XRP ledger and their Interledger protocol for cross-border transfer. So Ripple's stablecoin test, Klarna's open banking rebrand right here. This is big, guys, because Ripple's XRP ledger will issue the stablecoin, which will be carbon neutral, Palu, which also uses Ripple's central banking digital currency platform, which the government hopes will reduce foreign exchange costs and increase access to financial services on the island. Ripple recently finished work on its CBDC platform, which the blockchain company hopes will serve as a template for CBDCs and stablecoins in multiple markets, encouraging cross-border transactions. And Ripple is also working with the European Union and Montenegro on digital currency projects. Now, we talked about this a little while back, but here's the key here on why I'm bringing this up again, because the Bank of England released a new paper on Ripple's use cases. And the UK Central Bank on CBDCs was published by the Bank of England and the UK Treasury, including a brief mention of Ripple's technology. And it was a 116-page report. And so the title of the research paper, another research paper though too, so Ripple exploring the synchronized settlement of payments using the interledger protocol. So the Bank of England thinks that the Ripple protocol, which enables synchronized settlements across different ledgers, could have a substantial impact on the cross-border payment sector. And so the article details the outcomes of the Bank of England's integration of Ripple's protocol with real-time gross settlement system. It's happening, guys. So right here, FinTech Accelerator, proof of concept, real-time gross settlement blueprint. Now this document was published back in May of 2017. They've been planning this for a long period of time, and I'm going to share with you when this is going to be integrated with the interledger protocol. And so how that's going to work with the XRP ledger and everything, because on the Bank of England official website, in this speech right here, given by a UK finance, on the UK Finance Summer Networking event from Victoria Cleland, who's the Executive Director for Banking, Payments, and Innovation, she said in her speech, on 19th of June, exactly a month in a day ago, a little bit longer than that, we reached an important milestone migrating CHAPS, which is the UK's high-value payment system, to ISO 20022, the Global Financial Messaging Standard. And there are many people on that evening when she gave this speech involved in the migration to ISO 20022. The transition was not just a Bank of England program. It was the careful knitting together of 38 programs with all CHAPS direct participants being ready at that time. Now I'm going to share that list of who these CHAPS direct participants are, but let's talk about what she said with the benefits of renewing real-time gross settlements. So there's 3 phases that this is going to go through, all right? Phase number 1 is the transition to ISO 20022 globally, being a major step to increase transparency, interoperability, a big word the Brad Garland House has been using a lot, to enhance domestic and cross-border payments. It will release some immediate benefits, enabling the CHAPS direct participants to send and receive richer, more structured payment messages. Now, the second phase is new core settlement engines for real-time gross settlement, which will launch next summer, 2024. Now, I'm going to get into other videos with you guys talking about how that's going to relate into the Fed pivot and what that means for the markets and what to be ready for in conjunction with Bitcoin's halving as well too. But she's saying that we have already made significant strides towards providing greater access to real-time gross settlement to promote innovation and competition. In 2017, we were the first G7 central bank to grant access to non-bank payment service providers. This was followed by, in 2021, by a new access policy for accounts, which will enable real-time gross settlement to interoperate with emerging technologies, such as distributed ledger and new business models. So distributed ledger technology, and enhanced CHAPS liquidity savings mechanism to support lower liquidity costs. We will introduce more efficient algorithms, which based on our estimates could help CHAPS participants to collectively save millions of pounds every single year. And you know that when banks that are using this can save millions of pounds every single year, then that increases liquidity for them holding XRP. And so to the extent real-time gross settlement operating hours to nearly 24/7. And so being able to send payments instantaneously 7 days a week without having to wait 3 to 5 days for a wire transfer. Now, foundations for the future. The third phase of benefits of renewing real-time gross settlement, at the heart of this is the ability to support safe and efficient settlements in central banking money. So CBDCs is their plan. And top of the list are new ways to connect the real-time gross settlement, a synchronization interface to connect real-time gross settlement with other ledgers and extended real-time gross settlement operating hours. So other ledgers are going to be important with this, and that's where Ripple's liquidity hub comes into play for this. Now, the introduction of synchronized settlement would put us in a strong position to integrate central banking digital money in real-time gross settlement with innovative technologies such as distributed ledger technology. And she's saying that we have already tested this concept through Project Meridian, which is the collaboration with the Bank for International Settlements, Innovation Hub London Center, and private sector partners. And that is right here, you guys can see for Project Meridian on the Bank of International Settlements website. And I covered that in a video. If you go back on the channel, you guys can check that out. So in the short term, they're going to focus collectively on transitioning to the new core settlement engine next summer. So that's why this hasn't happened yet. It takes time. The SWIFT system took decades to integrate between the banks. And this is going to take some time, but by next summer, you're going to see some massive transitions. And she's saying, to quote Winston Churchill, to improve is to change, to be better is to change often. Our vision is to change often and do so in partnership with industry. And so constant changes are always happening. That's why we're covering them daily when you subscribe to the channel. But you look right here, CHAPS direct participants on the Bank of England website, Bank of America, Bank of England, Bank of New York, Bank of Scotland, Citibank, Deutsche Bank, all these massive banks, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, JP Morgan, the biggest bank in America, guys, but on the London branch, though. So when you look right here on all the London branches, this happening overseas right now, this is inevitable. It's inevitable. And so all the signs are leading to Ripple. So here's how it's going to work. Gross or cross-border real-time gross settlements. So there's the local payments, the real-time gross settlement system, interledger protocol on the XRP ledger, and then you see the CB and LP. So the gross real-time gross settlement, the global real-time gross settlement will remove friction, costs, and risks from cross-currency transactions. Distributed ledger technology, and in particular, the XRP ledger, will enable banks to settle cross-currency transactions in real time, which is something that's impossible today without this. The XRP ledger can be accessed by all banks and liquidity providers, enabling healthy competition between banks and a better service for customers. And correspondent banks and liquidity providers will be able to reach more currency corridors and new customers, improving their service offerings for other banks and their clients. Because they want market share, they're going to be not only forced to use this, but they're going to have to use this to compete because other banks are going to jump on board. And the ILP, which is the Interledger Protocol, will enable financial institutions and central banks to make their existing infrastructure and processes interoperable with other currencies, asset classes, and the XRP ledger, the global liquidity marketplace, and the global decentralized real-time gross settlement system. So this is massive. Now the roadmap for the real-time gross settlement service beyond 2024, Bank of England is pushing this on their official website right here. And so their vision, their key takeaways, and what they're planning on doing. So patience is the key here, guys, because the crypto market is breaking out of the bear market from 2022, and we literally just started the bull run leading into 2025. So a lot of people ask us the difference between XRP and Ripple, and it's important to understand they're two separate entities because XRP was not created by Ripple. It's a cryptocurrency, whereas Ripple is a for-profit company that promotes and supports XRP. And right here, if we look, JP Morgan said if Ripple wins the SEC lawsuit, XRP is poised for significant adoption. That's why Chase Bank is jumping on board with the global branches in the London branch. And so JP Morgan's North American Equity Research Report published earlier this month puts XRP in the spotlight, even stating that digital assets are poised for significant adoption, specifically XRP. So this is big, guys. This is big. So Ripple posted this on Twitter. The Q2 2023 XRP market report is live. We took a different approach for this quarter and focused on the landmark court ruling, on debunking misconceptions, and on the Ripple XRP holdings. And so right here in their report specifically, they said, to summarize, here are the main takeaways from the court's ruling. Number one, XRP is not in and of itself a security. Number two, Ripple's sales of XRP on exchanges are not securities. Number three, Ripple's sale of XRP by executives are not securities. Number four, a wide range of other Ripple's XRP distributions to developers, to charities, to employees are not securities. And last but not least, certain Ripple sales pursuant to written contracts to institutional investors, investment contracts, and therefore are securities. So they're going to need to settle this. And that's why the price of XRP has not, taken off yet. So the amount of money, we'll see what happens there by, roughly September later this year. We'll see in terms of the day that takes place. But I expect there to be something about, Ripple having to pay a little bit of money and then them fully moving on past this, that giving clarity to the institutions, the massive banks, and then XRP to, dominate the majority of the market share when BlackRock's ETF, if BlackRock's ETF gets approved by the SEC. Now with Coinbase, so Coinbase is asking the judge to dismiss the SEC's lawsuit against it in a motion filed on Friday. And so when we look right here on the chart, Coin, on the stock chart, Coin broke out from the $85 resistance. It got slapped back from the resistance from August of 2022, and it's currently coming back to retest this zone as support. So if coin can hold this support right here and we see massive money come into the market from BlackRock and that get approved, I expect coin to do pretty well. Now, again, don't buy coin, don't hold Coinbase's stock because they're going to be going through this process in the lawsuit with the SEC for a while. This is not going to resolve itself quick. It's just happening right now on everything that they're doing, and they're going to fight for the crypto industry. Ultimately, they're going to win. Worst case scenario, I'm going to talk about. I'll talk about the worst case scenario for Coinbase because what happened here is the SEC sued Coinbase in June, alleging the exchange violated federal securities laws by operating as an unregistered broker, exchange, and clearing agency for cryptocurrencies that were securities, naming 13 tokens as examples of coins it believed met those requirements. And the transition or transactions over Coinbase's platform and Prime are not and do not involve contractual undertakings to deliver future value reflecting the income, profit, or assets of a business. So therefore, Coinbase is saying they were not listing any securities. And the filing pointed to last month's ruling in the SEC's case against Ripple, saying the underlying facts were substantially identical to those alleged here. A federal judge ruled that Ripple's programmatic sales, where it listed XRP on exchanges for anyone to purchase, weren't security transactions, whereas Ripple's direct sales to institutional clients were. Meanwhile, Coinbase said that the SEC's allegations that Coinbase staking and wallet service violate securities laws should be dismissed for similar reasons. So the SEC, right, Coinbase attached 10 different exhibitions to its motion, including transcripts from a hearing in the SEC case first library and orders from previous cases involving the Howey test. Now, the Howey test is a standard set by the Supreme Court, obviously, back in 1946, and the SEC has until October 3rd to file a response to Coinbase's motion. So they can wait all through September until October 3rd, and any amicus briefs supporting Coinbase can be filed until August 11th. So October 3rd is the next massive date for Coinbase. We'll update you guys on the channel. And Coinbase posted this recently, August 2nd, saying last week, 2 House committees took a historic step in passing bipartisan crypto legislation to protect consumers. So you can join the stand. You can listen to them on Twitter and check out what they're having to say about that. And so this crypto bill passing in the U.S. House of Agricultural Committee is a step in the right direction, but there's still a long way to go. And Coinbase is saying they're staying in the United States because just a few months ago, Brian Armstrong, the CEO, openly flirted with the idea of relocating the company, saying, his visit to London, suggesting that anything was on the table for Coinbase's future. And, by judging by his comments, the embattled American crypto industry can rest easy that it won't be losing its big name. In fact, Armstrong said Coinbase would stay on Team America, even if it were to lose the case. Those licenses that it is acquiring internationally are not contingency plans to get out of the U.S., they're international expansion plans. I think that's massive to note that. And so in 2022, Coinbase made almost $2.7 billion in revenue in the United States. And in comparison, revenue from the rest of the world was just only $500 million. Only $500 million. No big deal, right? But that's why Binance is dominating the international market. So what is that SEC doing? Going after Binance as well too. Now, the worst case scenario, he suggested, would be having to delist the 13 crypto tokens listed as securities in the regulator's lawsuit against the exchange. That would be about the worst case scenario. Maybe they pay a little fee. So there's really not that bad of an outcome unless the SEC tries to target every single cryptocurrency, which they were doing for a while. But the win for Ripple is massive because then other altcoins would see a similar fate. Now, that doesn't mean that all of them are going to be around or a large chunk because Brad Garlinghouse said it best, like 99% are going to go away. And that's why we never give financial advice. Do your own research. We say that in every single video. So for you guys out there that see any projects that we talk about, don't buy them, don't sell them. Just watch for learning purposes only. We've always made that very clear. And specifically Bitcoin right here on the stock to flow model, you guys can see that Bitcoin right here, the days until the next halving, we're getting close to it leading up to 2024. And if you can see in the past when Bitcoin halved and it turned from, dark purple on the color scale to red, where it's around 1,400 days until the next halving, right when it turns red is really when we start the massive bull run from right there. So the past cycle, the cycle before that, and the cycle before that. And so we got some time. That's why the summer of 2024, by around April and May of 2024, coincidentally enough, isn't that interesting how the Bank of England is now starting to usher in the interledger protocol, and they're starting to talk about Ripple and exploring the synchronized settlement of payments using interledger protocol. And they're talking about on Project Meridian. They're talking about this right here on Chaps Direct Participants with all of these banks. And they're saying by 2024, when this starts getting ushering in, coincidentally enough, it's so trippy right here, looking at, where was I? Right here. So we're looking at this. The stock to flow model is when we'll start to see a run up. Now, where is the price near the halving right here? If we're anywhere near the line that we were in the past, we were below it back in 2012. We were right at it, a little bit above it in 2016. And then 2020, we were a little bit above it. So that would be a price right there, a Bitcoin of roughly $56,000, $57,000. So you got some time. The main focus right now is backing up the truck all the way to the bank, grabbing the bags, packing them and stacking them, leaving no bags left behind because the spending power of the dollar is going to continue to go down in value. That's a fact. Blockchain technology is going up in interest, and together we're all going camping on the beaches of the moon. I will see you on the next video. We're coming out with new videos every single week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now, and I will see you on the next video when you click that right now. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.